Hello, sweet bees! How are you doing? How are things? Today I would like to talk about how to save the world, starting from a baby orangutan. Now, if you have been following me for a while, you know how much I love this planet Earth. I think it's a gorgeous planet and is full of amazing people, loving pets, and amazing, beautiful wildlife. And I believe wildlife should be left as much as possible untouched. Of course, as humans, we are destroying a lot of habitat for wildlife, and there are hunters who hunt for fun. I don't know how that can be a fun sport, or we exploit a lot basically of our planet. So this affects a lot of wildlife because when we destroy their houses, then their habitat shrinks. And this is a problem that happens all over the world. Overpopulation is one of the causes, and agricultural, blah, blah, blah. But what can you do today to make things better? And yes, I believe charities that help humans, like children or sick people or homeless people, are amazingly important and need to be supported. But also, animals are important because if you think about it, the animal charities are trying to zeroing the causes that we as humans do. Charities that help dogs are usually helping dogs have been neglected or abused. Wildlife charities are helping with things we have caused: deforestation, intensive agricultural, and logging, and human-made fires. So it's important that as humans we all take responsibility and try to also help wildlife if this is something close to your heart. For me it is, because I'm an animal lover. I love nature. For me, going to the walk in the woods, it's an amazing experience. So today I would like to tell you 3 things you can do to help to make this world a better planet. And last Saturday there was a lunch for the what's it called? I lost the word for the astronaut going into space. Now, I find the space amazing. It's interesting. We're exploring other planets. Weirdly enough, some of us are saying, let's find a better planet so we can start from zero. I much prefer an argument where people who don't care about this planet go to live in a planet without wildlife and nature, so they stop destroying this one. That would be a much better option for me. And while many are interested in exploring other planets, we are living in the most beautiful planet known to us so far. It has plenty of biodiversity, wildlife species, oceans, lakes, rivers, landscapes, etc. And amazing people. Not all of us are amazing, because there are some few of us that are a bit mean, to put it blunt, to put it very lightly. But unfortunately, because of this some few mean people, many plants and animal species are endangered. And mostly because of us humans. And before, I used to think the bad guys are far away from me. I had no ideas. I was supporting these bad guys with my own money. But I will tell you a bit more about that in a bit. And in the past, I had no idea I could make a difference. I felt so little and so non-powerful, and I didn't know. When I first saw the video from Greenpeace talking about palm oil, I had no idea how big the damage was, and I had no idea that I could do something about it. It was incredible when I saw this Greenpeace video that was from 2002 or something like this, like maybe even more. And I remember to see that short video. It just, my brain didn't record it. It didn't made an impression. And I think it's sometimes, a seed needs to be... I like to have this metaphor that a lot of ideas that I get every day from books, movies, or people, we all get millions of seeds every month of ideas, of concepts. And most of them will not become flowers, because this is also what happens in nature. But some of those seeds will flower. And the palm oil seed for me took a few years to blossom into something like, oh, I can do something about it. And because, guys, ladies and gentlemen, there is no planet B. And we are doing so much damage to Mother Earth. And today, I would like to mention the endangered species of the orangutan, because I adopted one. When I say adopted, I don't mean I have it in my house. No. I live in Europe. I don't want an orangutan. This is not their house. They need to be in their own habitat. I am amongst the many people who have adopted a baby orangutan. Mine is called Tim Tom. And I don't know how many people you need to help one single orangutan, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I'm sure if they're using my money to also help other baby orangutans in the sanctuary, I won't get offended. But the point is, we can all do something. And when we help a baby orangutan, if it's done in the right way, the way we help an orangutan, it will help to keep its habitat intact. If we keep the habitat intact, we're going to help also the plants, the flowers, the insects, the other animals, birds that live in that forest. So it's important, and the orangutan is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's much more underneath. And also, because of climate change, it's very important that we keep as many trees as possible, because trees clean the air. The cleaner the air it is, the less pollution there will be in the air, which is causing climate change, because the world is getting warmer and warmer by the day. So scary. So, as I was saying, in the past, I thought I couldn't make any impact on many issues that happen in the world. However, with time, I've learned that we can all make a difference once we know what to do. I will explain a bit later what we can do to change this issue, and it might give you some ideas on what to do on other issues close to your heart. Like orangutan live in a tropical rainforest and swamp forest. They spend most of their time in the forest canopy. They sleep in nests that they build from leaves and folded branches. They play a vital role in seed dispersal, and they are in fact called the gardeners of the forest. They mainly eat fruit, but also sometimes flowers, seeds, honey, bird's egg, leaves, bark, and very rarely meat. They mature around 10-15 years old, and female gave birth to a single baby and only occasionally to twins. An infant tends to stay with mom for as long as 8 years, if not 11 in some cases. Studies have found out that in the past, orangutans ranged throughout Southeast Asia and South China. That was a very vast area. Today, they are only found in Indonesia, and more precisely confined to 2 islands, Borneo and Sumatra. Sadly, they are officially listed critically endangered, which means they are at a high risk to go extinct in the near future. That's very scary, especially because if they go extinct, then it means also other animals go extinct. And as they are called the gardeners of the forest, if they don't keep dripping seeds all around the forest, then the forest will also suffer, because there will be no such gardeners. Maybe also birds do the same thing, and insects, but at the scale of orangutan, they don't. So it's going to slow down also rainforest growth. So what problems do orangutan face? one of the main issues they face is loss of their habitat caused by deforestation. Deforestation is extremely bad because over the last 3 decades, an estimated of 80% of their habitat has been destroyed. And that's a good question. What are the reasons of deforestation in Indonesia? Well, it's mainly like oil exploration, palm oil production, and logging. These 3 are the worst affecting orangutan lives. And orangutan live in rainforests, which means the soil is very fertile, which makes it very profitable to plant palm oil and agricultural expansion, which is another issue that is quite big in Indonesia. And the thing is, rainforests are millions years old, and they have also plenty of coal underground. So rainforests in Africa, South America, Indonesia, and Asia in general are also being exploited for coal. And that's very sad because coal is actually very polluting. It gives us a lot of lung problems. And so we will be much better off without coal. Some companies, some industries still use it, but we don't need coal anymore. We have other resources. And that's not the only issue of orangutans, because also poachers kill orangutans for their own meat and sell their babies as pets. Some of the babies end up in zoos, circus, or animal shows where they are forced to perform tricks to entertain misguided tourists. Unfortunately, also European and American tourists try illegally to bring back home babies orangutans as pets. This might be because when they're babies, they're extremely cute. However, the way they try to bring these animals to home are very horrific, because what they do is they make them go to sleep, and then they pack them in the check-in luggage. Now, I used to be a cabin crew, so I can guarantee you no animal will arrive alive if you check him in. Because whenever we carry animals in airplane, big airplanes like commercial airplanes have 3 cargo compartments, no? And even if a small airplane has 2, there are usually 2 types. There is one that is can be pressurized and can be climate with the temperature and can have light. And in this one is where you can bring live animals. So it's important that they have pressurization, because without pressurization you can't breathe, and you can have an implosion. And you need to have oxygen, because when you're up in the air 30,000 feet, there is no oxygen. So the oxygen is still there. Okay, let me be more specific. You can't survive with that amount of oxygen, because the more we go far from the ground, the less oxygen there is for square meters. In fact, have you realized when you're high in the mountains, at the beginning you struggle to breathe? And you struggle to breathe because there is less concentration of oxygen. So it takes a few days where you might feel a bit tired and stuff, till your body gets used to less oxygen, so it produces more. I can't remember the name of the hemoglobin. Anyway. So the blood brings more oxygen, so it goes basically faster, and we have more production of hemoglobin, HEMOGLOBIN. hemoglobin. Hemoglobin, it's the one that carries the oxygen in the blood. So when we go up in the air, we take some days to get used to the air in the mountains. However, mountains